And we welcome you back to Pure Nebraska. Here on the program, we like to put the spotlight on the farm women's group Common Ground. Volunteers with the group are always working to spread a positive message about agriculture to consumers.
Today we are going to learn more about spring field work and what farmers are thinking about when it comes to planting season. Joining us now to talk about that is CommonGround Volunteer Leslie Boswell from Shickley. And thank you for making the drive today.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, good morning.
How's everything in your area?
Getting crazy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys in our area that get in a big hurry, and sometimes they don't need to be that much, but the ground is ready, it's time to go.
Yeah.
So they're really getting excited about it. We finally got done with most of our meetings. Just got back from New Orleans not too long ago. My husband got back from DC, and he's in an itch. He wants to go.
Well,
so
I remember that with my grandpa. He would drive around and see who was in the field.
Exactly.
He's like, we got to get going.
I've seen guys that will go out and park a planter at the end of the field just to get the neighbors riled up.
Oh my gosh, I can see that working pretty well too.
That's funny.
Well, what is going on as far as spring planting season, well, or field work right now?
Right now it's just field work. It's way too early and the ground is too cold to do any planting.
Okay.
So generally we do not do any pre-work on our fields. It's called no-till, so we just basically go in and plant in the stubble that was left from last year. This year we are working it up a little bit because there wasn't enough moisture to really break down the stalks.
Okay.
And one thing that is important, like planting a garden, planting flowers, planting anything, corn and soybeans have to be planted at a specific depth for them to emerge correctly. And if you don't have a fairly smooth field, then you have trouble getting them to that depth. And so a lot of the field work right now is making sure that your seed bed is ready so that they can sprout and grow properly.
Now we have this impending storm coming. How is all this going to impact planting, do you think, this year?
From what I've heard Brad say, this isn't going to be a long-range deal. There will be some really good moisture, and that's a great thing. Because a lot of times when you're working the fields early like this, it helps dry it out, which we don't really want. We want the moisture down there where the seed can get to it. But if it does go too long, they're going to really start wanting to get in the fields about April 15th.
Okay.
And if it is too wet or too cold at that time, then that'll slow them down a little bit. But with the larger equipment we've got now, you can get over a lot more acres. It's not as critical as it used to be. So they can make up time if they have to.
And around this time of year, I'm guessing that you have all of your inputs purchased and you're just kind of ready to go, or not. Is there still a lot of work yet to do before planting actually physically begins?
All of the seed generally is purchased like at Husker Harvest Days in the fall. That's when they've got their big pushes and their big sales. All of our seed was delivered in January. So we're ready as far as the seed goes. The fertilizer will probably, I know he's pricing it right now, it probably won't be delivered until after. Generally he'll put on dry and sometimes liquid, and that will be done right at planting time or shortly after. So we don't get in a big rush on that. There is a lot of anhydrous that is going on now. The soil is working really well. It hasn't been too cold, and there's guys that have been rolling for a long time with the fertilizer, with the anhydrous. We don't put on anhydrous on our ground.
Okay.
So, all right, Leslie, I think you're going to be staying around. I see some food over there.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for sticking around for that.
Thank you, Leslie, for telling us about the field work that's going on right now, too. Yeah.
One thing, if I can, busy time of year, lots of equipment on the road, please be careful. They try to be as careful as they can, but just give us some time.